time. That'll be alright. Some people like watching laptops, other people like watching Dota. Put that aside. Alright, so what I've got in front of me is my 15-inch HP Omen gaming laptop. It's a pretty simple, if not almost stupidly so rig. When I bought this, normal retail price was $1,000 for a 7700 HQ processor, 12 gigs of RAM. Got a 1050 Ti in there. It also came with a 1 terabyte hard drive that well, you know what I did with it? I swapped it out for a Seagate FireCuda drive, and well, that was a straight disaster. I mean, so the chipset has no heatsink on it whatsoever. So what we are going to do, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little heatsink. It's a quantum MOSFET heatsink that I've had for, I don't know how long. I need to clean that thing. It's got a little gunk on it. You can probably see it's a dull copper. But what we're going to do is I'm going to take that and I'm going to use some thermal adhesives to fasten it to the chipset. Maybe we can get a little bit better thermal performance out of it. Now this laptop is a pretty simple construction. You've got these outer screws here on the edge, one through the hinges, the rest into the chassis, and then the rest of the frame just snaps together. As is convention with PC building nowadays, it's pretty much self-contained. Everything mounts to the palm rest. The hard part is opening it the first 2 or 3 times, because you have the got the clips. They're very stiff when you start, but after you've been in it a time or 2 or 20, they tend to give way pretty easy. Or maybe it's that I just know how to get into it. So take it here, make sure all the screws are out. I don't want to break this shell. This shell is probably going to be difficult to replace for a decent price anyway. Alright, she's coming loose. Well, it's got you caught. There we go. All right. So you'll be able to see right here that I've got some upgrades in it already. When my FireCuda drive failed, all I was left with was my 512 gig Intel. No, this is my WD Black SSD. 512 gig. Failed on a work site, but I had it up before the night was over. Luckily, I didn't have anything of value on that FireCuda drive. So we got a 512 gig WD FireCuda drive. You'll see this copper sink on the back side of it. I got 12 gigs of RAM over here. I got my Intel Wi-Fi over here. My twin fans. Here's your chipset. And here's the 1 terabyte WD Blue SSD I used to ultimately replace the storage that was the 1 terabyte FireCuda drive. So as you'll see, I've got a 1/2 inch MOSFET heatsink right here. And oh my goodness, that is nasty. I will need to clean this. Now the one thing about this heatsink is I am going to have to cut it down to size. Okay, battery cable is out. Alright, so cursory glance. Here's the chipset. I'm just going to clean that off just a little bit with some rubbing alcohol. My biggest concern is getting this heatsink to stay properly mounted, to stay in there. I yanked out my mic cable. Ain't that stupid? Okay, so recap. I'm going to be using my Dremel with a soft metal cutting bit, and I will be taking off about half of the heatsink's height. so that it will fit inside the chassis. And that is nowhere near even at all. But that's okay. It will still allow me to get a pretty decent fix. Get a decent fit, that is. So, a little bit under half taken off, but well within what I need. So what I'm left with now is a heatsink that was half the size. Right now I'm just going to make sure I've got a good test fit, because that's all that matters at this immediate point. Before I do anything else, it's got to have a good test fit. A good test fit would allow me to close the case, and ugh, no, that is not a good test fit. I need to cut more off of it. Need to cut more off of it. It's pushing up against the case just a little bit. So yes, more does have to come off. It is moving one of the... Oh, it's moving more than one, actually. That's bending the pins a lot of ways. I don't want them to bend. That is not what I want at all. That is doing significantly more harm than good. That is not at all how I want it. Maybe the grit on there is too low. It's grabbing more of it than it is freaking sanding it down. I mean, it's really funny. These sandpaper discs, I mean, you can actually use them to cut sheet metal. It's real funny though, because you spin paper at 10,000 RPMs, it'll cut through a lot of things. It's pretty scary if you ask me. Some of you laughing, oh, you got cut by paper. Yeah, that paper will cut straight through you if you give it a chance to, dude. It's freaking nuts. That is starting to heat up on my finger. Yeah, gloves. I keep forgetting. Alright, even the nub would do better. Okay. Oh, it's going everywhere. Stop that. Well, the disc broke. Time to get a new disc. That hurt. And when those discs break, they go like everywhere. And this is 180 grit. The sheeted sandpaper is 120. I'll probably move up to the 240 disc here in a moment. Whew, that cleans up your nose. All right. And I just want to make sure that there's clearance before I put this all the way down. It looks like there is plenty of clearance. More than enough. Yeah, so if I applied that, it would stay in place. All right. So here we go. You go, and you are going here. Right there. Perfect. Now, what do you say? I almost closed this back up without reattaching the battery. Silly, silly, silly me. Goody. All the snaps are snapped. Let's see what she does. There we go. She's on. She booted. CPU 0. PCH temperature 36C. Okay. Well, hey, that's actually pretty solid. So, let's put it under load and see what it does. So the PCH seems to be doing pretty well. I don't know where the NVMe drive is coming off of. I want to say it's coming off the PCH. That would be something to test it with. We'll see. Right, those are some pretty decent numbers, don't you think? For that those reading rates, those are pretty decent. That's the WD Blue 1 terabyte SSD SATA. Got it on sale, $117. That was actually pretty cool. And, oh hey, it's done. Good. We'll wait for the PCH to cool down just a little bit. Looks like it's already doing that. I mean, there is no active airflow on it. If I put this thing on a cooling pad, yeah, that thing is going to start staying chill. But yeah. All right, so let's see what C drive does. Now this is the NVMe drive, so we'll see what it does. I wonder if it's on the PCH or not. We'll see. This laptop never sustains a load like this anyway, so I'm not going to be concerned about it at all. Not bad. So the PCH popped up to 52.5 degrees during the testing. NVMe drive peaked at 77. So overall, not bad. The PCH would have been up into the high 50s by the time that testing had even gotten halfway through. So not bad. I'd say that's a successful modification. Real quick, I want to see where the drive attaches. There it is. So there it is right there. It's on the Skylake PCH. Perfect. Alrighty then. So that's good enough for me. I know where everything's going. I know how it's going to perform now, and that just makes it all amazing. Thanks for watching. I don't know why I enjoy talking. It's ridiculous. Anyway, thank you, and I'll see you later.